running forms. You know, you can just get yourself on down the road, you can just get yourself on down the trail, whatever you're doing, but if you have better form, you will take stresses off your body, and you will eventually, as you develop your form and get the right muscle balance with the form, find running to be easier. Does anybody find that running just feels really awkward to them? Just like running's pretty difficult? It will greatly improve and reduce that feeling if you develop some technique and form to make it smoother. First of all, I want to talk about two laws of physics. The one that actually makes us go forward when we run. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, which means that when we put force down into the ground, into an object that's not going to move, because the earth is pretty substantial, we're not going to move it. When we put force back into the ground, it's going to return up through our body in equal and opposite reaction. So that force in comes back to a force for our body to propel us forward. Okay, that's the standard law that helps us move forward. But there's another law which really pertains to our running form that can be lost, and that reaction will not be equal and opposite if you have a hinged. It's called the hinged moment. It's a hinged point. Okay. If you have hinged points, they have, just like a shock absorber, will absorb. So I put force into the ground, it's going to try to come back up through my body, but in that hinged point and the closing of the hinge, that is no longer equal and opposite. So if we are running like this, bent over forward, leaning too far forward, knees aren't up, so we're up tall, then we have hinge point 1 and hinge point 2, absorbing a lot of that energy we're putting into the ground. So we're working harder to put more force to move us forward. So you're going to exert more effort to go forward at the same pace, at a slower pace than somebody putting the same amount of effort out. It's up tall and eliminating as many hinge points as possible. Okay? So quite simply put, you want to run tall. And I like to describe it as if, this is really hard for me to do. Gloria, stand up for a minute. If Gloria's running around long and I grabbed her hair and I pulled hard enough that she said, that hurts and I don't want it to hurt, okay? She's going to stay nice and tall as she runs along because I'm going to hold her hair up and she doesn't want it to pull out of her head, so she's going to stay up nice and tall. I call it modeling class posture. All right? I can't do it. All right? I need some tweezers and pull me along. All right. So simply think of it as modeling class posture. You want to be up tall. You don't want to be stiff. You don't want to be tense. You want to be tall, erect, and relaxed. All right? So now we've eliminated those points. Now, you want to set yourself in motion, lean forward a little bit. All right? The lean is from the ankles, not from the waist. So you want to be slightly forward. And if you let your body, because really when we run, we're just catching a series of falls. All right? Anybody want to be a guinea pig here? Do they feel brave? I can't use Gloria because she knows this. Okay, face me. And I want you to lean forward like this. Has she displaced her weight forward in motion? No, I just went like this. No, she has not. She's just realigned her weight because if she had displaced her weight forward, she would be falling forward. She's not. So when her butt, you can sound out. She put her chest out here, that puts some weight forward, her butt went back a little farther, and she's still balanced in the same place. She has not displaced her weight. Now, stand up to your feet like this, and just trust me for a second. Okay. All right, just in between. Now, has she displaced her weight forward?
Yes.
That's right. See? All right? See, so you want to lean forward from the ankles. When you lean forward from the waist, it doesn't do it. Thank you. Okay. So this is not the way to run, and a lot of people do run like this. Now, part of the reason people run like this is because they like to land in front of their center mass on their heel, and to do that, you've got to balance that out with your butt back, chest forward, all right, and you get all these hinge points. Hips up and forward, all right, shoulders tall, slightly back and relaxed. That opens up the airway. I tell people to keep their eyes on a conversational plane.